Hi there. Today we're going to explore the plot of the 2025 film The Ugly Stepsister. A poor girl named Elvira dreams of becoming rich. To achieve this, she longs to marry a prince. For the sake of this goal, she undergoes painful beauty procedures, never sparing herself. The story begins with Elvira's moist fantasies about the handsome Prince Julian. Upon waking up, she, along with her mother Rebecca and sister Alma, sets off in a carriage to visit Otto, a wealthy man whom Rebecca is marrying. Thus, Elvira gains a stepsister, Agnes. Showing them the new house, Agnes introduces her to Isaac, the stable boy. Seeing that the prince's palace is visible from the bedroom window, Elvira confides in her new sister that she dreams of marrying him. In the evening, during a festive dinner with cake, the newly united family throws a proper feast, pelting each other with food, until Otto suddenly dies, his face sinking right into the dessert. Elvira tries to comfort Agnes, but the latter treats her with disdain, refusing to let her even compare her grief to a real loss. After all, their father had only agreed to the marriage for Rebecca's money. Panicking, Elvira runs to her mother and tells her that the new husband was actually bankrupt. This is overheard by the lawyers, who have swooped in like vultures, ready to seize all property to pay off debts without even waiting for the funeral. As soon as the lawyers leave, Rebecca faints and collapses onto the floor. Elvira tries to calm her down, promising to find a way out. For example, she could marry the prince, but Rebecca harbors no illusions. Her daughter is only fit for someone with a very specific taste. Elvira examines herself in the mirror. Meanwhile, Agnes prays over her deceased father's body, asking for a better fate. And it seems the heavens have heard her. A man arrives with an invitation to a ball at the palace, where the prince will choose his bride. Along with Agnes, the invitation also goes to Elvira, her stepsister. Dreaming of future marriage, Elvira undergoes a checkup with a doctor of aesthetic sciences named Esthétique. He suggests removing her braces and shaving down the bump on her nose. This should improve her chances among the beautiful ballerinas. Her mother promises to pay double after the ball if everything works out. The doctor gets to work. The braces are removed easily and painlessly, but the nose is more complicated. Afterwards, Elvira has to wear a special muzzle on her nose until it fully heals. In this state, the girl arrives at Madame Sophie's Royal Etiquette School. There, girls are being selected for the ball's opening ceremony, including the lead dancer and supporting participants. It's a perfect chance to be the first one noticed by the prince. Elvira can't hide her excitement, but soon the instructor asks her to switch places with Agnes. To avoid seeing her face with the muzzle, Elvira is moved to the very back row, among the least attractive candidates. During dinner, where Elvira must stick to a strict diet, Agnes raises the issue of their father's burial. Rebecca replies that she'll take care of it after the ball, once her daughter becomes the prince's fiancée. For now, they simply don't have the funds for extras. The stepmother also suggests that the stepdaughter share her wardrobe with her stepsisters. This annoys Agnes so much that she gets up and leaves the table. During etiquette lessons, the girls are taught how to curtsy and walk with a straight posture without bobbing their heads. To practice this, they train by going up and down stairs with a book balanced on the crown of their heads. When the list of girls selected to perform at the ball is posted, everyone rushes to examine it eagerly. Elvira finds her name at the very bottom, replacing some disqualified candidate. Still, she's wildly happy for the opportunity she's been given. When rehearsals for the actual dance begin, the choreographer Madame Vanja demonstrates the movements and asks who will repeat them. Along with everyone else, Elvira raises her hand, which makes the instructor laugh. She allows the ugly duckling to spoil the role of the beautiful swan, but in the end, she remarks that although the girl does have talent, she needs to work much harder. She was included in the group not for her skill, but because her mother paid. While Elvira holds back tears of disappointment, the lead role is performed by Agnes. It also turns out that Elvira's ball gown is too tight. The diet isn't working, as she secretly snacks on pastries at night. The girl complains to Madame Sophie about her appearance, but the teacher, inspecting her still healing nose, praises her bravery in trying to change herself. To support her student, she gives her something inside a small case. During a picnic in the forest with her younger sister Alma, Elvira shows her what's inside the case, a tapeworm egg. She plans to swallow it without telling their mother, hoping to lose weight by feeding the worm instead of herself. And once she's married to the prince, she'll remove the parasite using an antidote. Alma believes this has gone too far, and an argument breaks out between the sisters. But for the sake of a better life and the dream of great pure love, Elvira swallows the egg. Suddenly a wounded bird falls nearby. Elvira hears the voices of hunters. It turns out to be the prince himself and his friends. Upon seeing the girl, the group crudely makes a vulgar proposition. Humiliated, Elvira runs away, but continues to watch from behind the bushes, the very object of her girlish fantasies. Returning home in the dark, Elvira stumbles upon Agnes in the stables, spending time with the stable boy Isaac. When Rebecca finds out, she demotes Agnes to a servant and kicks Isaac out of the house. Pleased to have rid herself of a rival, Elvira indulges in sweets, feeding the parasite inside her. After 3 full moons, the day of the ball arrives. The mother removes the muzzle from Elvira's face. Her nose has healed, and the girl herself has slimmed down significantly, thanks to the worm. Meanwhile, Agnes diligently prepares for her performance. But the cosmetic interventions don't stop there. After numbing the area around her eyes with an anesthetic, Dr. Esthétique sews lush new eyelashes onto Elvira's eyelids. At night, under the rumble of thunder, with her bandaged, healing eyes, the girl writhes in pain. The parasite is moving inside her. That's where Agnes finds her. Feeling compassion for her suffering sister, she feeds her with a spoon. At the next rehearsal, it turns out that Agnes cannot perform the lead role at the ball. Madame Vanja must look for a replacement. And after reviewing the candidates, she chooses Elvira, who has already undergone a series of enhancements. One evening, while Elvira is taking a bath and simultaneously eating a plate of spaghetti, Agnes, now nicknamed Cinderella, notices that her sister's hair is falling out. This is a consequence of the vitamin deficiency caused by the tapeworm consuming all the nutrients. Rebecca invites a tailor to the house, who brings a ball gown for Elvira and introduces himself as the fairy godmother. When she calls her sister over to help with the outfit, the tailor notices Cinderella, but she only spits in his face. This only deepens his interest in her. Noticing that Elvira is losing her hair, the tailor suggests a wig. Later that night, after finishing off leftovers on the stairs, Elvira spots Agnes, who is holding a secret ball gown taken from their grandmother's chest. Not wanting to compete for attention again, Elvira throws herself at her sister and tears the dress to shreds. Hearing the commotion, Rebecca puts her daughter to bed, giving her a tincture to calm her. Meanwhile, Cinderella weeps beside the body of her father, who still hasn't been buried. There, she dreams of her late mother, who tells her that the worms have sewn a new dress for her, one in which no one will recognize her, that the shoes are hidden in the hem, and reminds her, at midnight, her carriage will once again turn into a pumpkin. As they prepare for the ball, Elvira is less concerned about her beauty, and more worried that Agnes looks too happy after everything that has happened. But despite this, at dusk, the carriage races her and her mother to the prince's palace. They are introduced to Prince Julian and his father, with each girl's height, age, and preferences being announced. The courtiers hungrily examine the young beauties, exchanging jokes. Elvira is no exception. She's no longer the terrifying friend she once was. After being introduced to the guests, the dance program begins. The students of Madame Sophie, now transformed, demonstrate the skills they acquired at the Institute for Noble Maidens. Among the dancers, Elvira performs a solo. She was even given a separate number with backup dancers. Once the formal program concludes, Rebecca joyfully tells her daughter that suitors are lining up to dance with her. When Prince Julian prepares to open the ball, the contenders line up. The prince walks past the girls, but his choice falls on the one standing at the very end, Elvira. Not believing her luck, the girl dances with the object of her dreams, setting an example for the other couples. But it doesn't last long. The celebration is interrupted by the arrival of a stranger in a blue dress and a veil over her face. The prince's attention immediately shifts to her, to the great disappointment of the former favorite. The shock causes the tapeworm inside Elvira to stir, forcing her to flee from prying eyes. In one of the rooms, she is overcome with nausea. When her mother arrives, the terrified girl says she's dying, but Rebecca coldly notes that there are plenty of other wealthy men besides the prince, and to bring her daughter back to her senses, she slaps her across the face. Returning to the ballroom, Elvira diligently waltzes with one suitor after another, casting occasional glances at the prince. Suddenly, during another dance that includes a deep dip, she sees beneath the veil of the mysterious stranger. It's her stepsister Agnes. Realizing that her disguise has been uncovered, Agnes stumbles on her heels and runs from the ball. The prince rushes after his beloved, but in vain. All that remains is a single slipper. Picking it up, Julian asks, "Whose slipper is this?" implying that whoever it fits will become his chosen one. Elvira, threatening Agnes with a cleaver, demands the second slipper. A fight breaks out between the sisters, gradually moving to the second floor, all the way to Rebecca's bedroom door. She asks them to quiet down. She has an important guest inside, on whom their future depends. Elvira yells that Agnes stole the prince from her, but their mother doesn't care. She's preoccupied with her own affairs and orders her daughter to go to bed. Having wrested back the second slipper, Elvira still finds no peace. The shoe turns out to be slightly too small for her. Realizing that with such large feet, she won't be able to make the prince fall in love with her, the girl grabs the cleaver, compares the size of her foot to the slipper, and proceeds with a surgical intervention. At her screams, Alma comes running, followed by their mother and her lover. Upon seeing the sight, the man faints. After giving her daughter a dose of tincture, Rebecca suddenly notices. She cut the toes off the wrong foot. The prince has the left slipper, so that's the one she'll need to try on. Alma tries to stop her mother. She's against this cruelty toward her sister, but Rebecca is unwavering in her determination to marry her daughter off to someone titled. In a daze from the tincture, Elvira dreams a strange dream. The prince slips the shoe onto her foot and calls her his fiancée. When she awakens, all she sees are her own bloodied stumps. When the prince arrives at the house to conduct the customary fitting, Elvira, pushing through unbearable pain, crawls toward the stairs, only to tumble down them like a cannonball. There, Agnes finds her. Without saying a word, the stepsister goes out to meet the prince. Lying helpless, Elvira hears the familiar words from her happy dream, only now they're directed not at her, but at the one she hates, at Cinderella. While the lovers kiss on the stairs, Elvira weeps silently, out of powerlessness and pity for herself. So much effort, so many tears, so much blood and health she had sacrificed for beauty, and all for nothing. The prince went to someone else. Alma finds her sister on the floor and says that the first thing to do is get rid of the tapeworm. She gives Elvira the antidote, and soon she begins to vomit. From her mouth, the parasite slowly emerges, and Alma manages to grab it. She pulls out the worm, horrified. After that, Alma steals jewelry from their mother's bedroom and helps Elvira down the stairs. The sisters mount a horse and leave the house, hoping to cross the borders of the kingdom before Cinderella becomes a princess and decides to reclaim her father's house, the same house where their father's body still lies unburied. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.